Your nation is that you're an Edomite, according to the Bible.
Can I read this out to you real quick?
This
is the Zondervan Graham Bible Dictionary. We didn't write this. The scholars wrote this.
Scholars.
Like
that look
like you. And this is concerning your nation. What is, the Bible says, but Edom, Edomites, the nation and its people who were the descendants of Esau. He founded the country, so his name is equated with Edom. The country was called Seir, or Mount Seir, which was the name of the territory in which the Edomites lived. Basically, I'm going to jump to the point. Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of the great future judgment. Notably in Isaiah 34:5, 6, 63 and 1, she is the only neighbor of the Israelites who is not given any promise of mercy from God.
Exactly. And, what do we read in Ezekiel 25? That account when the Lord used us to conquer Edom back in the time of the Maccabees. It's going to happen again.
That's right.
Psalms 59 and 10. The God of my mercy shall prevent me. God shall let me see my desire upon mine enemies. So my desire to him and his people is that they walk around with chains on.
That's right.
He ain't gonna be able to wear Nike shoes in the kingdom and socks. He gonna have no socks. No socks, no shoes, no shirt. You ain't even gonna have a roof over your head, bro.
No.
No, and what name?
Listen, read the Bible.
What name you gonna pray to?
Your home is going to be a hole in the ground.
Leviticus 1933.
Hey, what was that?
Real quick.
I got you.
That's the same kind of rebuke that I got several years ago that made me have to do more searching than myself.
Right, and you know what? If somehow he is a Jake, he won't be offended.
Yeah.
Leviticus what?
You know, we was just doing
But I think
spirit.
he's an Edomite, period.
Leviticus
Yeah, I
what
think he
again?
is too.
Right,
Leviticus 19, verse
33?
33.
All right. Talking about the sojourner and the stranger.
33. Okay, you want me to bring it out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Leviticus verse 19, verse 33, Salaki. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him.
Right. So hey brother, so you know about the account of Solomon when Bathsheba came to visit him? Right. And so what did Solomon do? He exchanged gifts. And then what did it said that she lost her breath in her because he saw the greatness of Solomon. Basically, he was a great host. Yeah, he was a great host. So this is what the Lord has told us to do. We was in the middle of everything. People were supposed to commerce and trade with us. Right?
That's the law, right?
What's up?
That was the law we just read, right?
Absolutely. You know, but if me and you were doing business, and let's say my business with you was lucrative, I'm not going to treat you in a bad way, am I? Because me and you, we have mutual business. We have mutual business going on. So that's what the Lord is saying. And when you sojourn somewhere, that's like a temporary stay. So the Lord is just telling us to be a gracious host. That's all it is. Because what did the Lord say to Moses in them?
I was reading this last night. That's what I'm confused about.
Oh, okay.
Leviticus 18, verse.
Somebody
18.
Hold up. Can I
Start at 25, and you go 25 and 26.
Can I hit the
Leviticus 18, 25, and 26.
Can I hit the definition of stranger real quick from that verse?
I've been asking this question a long time. Nobody can answer it. Leviticus 18, 25, and 26.
Let him go into the strong.
Because it's connected. Well, that question is connected to that.
I got
Okay.
you. I got it on deck. Just go back.
I got the definition of stranger from that verse 19 and 33 in Leviticus. The word is gereh, or geger, and it's a Hebrew word meaning sojourner, a temporary inhabitant, a newcomer lacking inherited rights, of foreigners in Israel through conceded rights, properly an alien, a guest.
Someone that's not an Israelite. Absolutely. Let's go to Leviticus
18, 25. Okay, go ahead.
It's connected to this conversation.
I got it. I have it.
Because no one's ever been able to answer this question right here.
All right.
This is Leviticus chapter 18, verse 25.
Yeah.
And 26.
All right, 26. And the land is defiled.
No, read 25 and 26.
Yeah,
Okay.
I better. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity there upon it. And the land itself vomited out her inhabitants. He shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of those abominations, neither any of your own nation nor any stranger that sojourneth among you.
So what was your question?
So the question is, who are these strangers sojourning among Israel? They're always living with Israel.
Well,
That-
like we said, a sojourn.
that are forced to keep the commandments as Israel.
Well, like we.
Because that's what it's saying.
Right. Well, like we were saying, a sojourner. First of all, like we were saying, is a temporary state.
But
All right.
they're forced to keep the commandments as we do.
Absolutely. Well, the time of the Maccabees, they was doing that.
But this is even before this time. This period of time is even before. This is directly after they leave. It's directly after the Exodus. So there are strangers that left Egypt with Israel that were keeping the commandments.
Well, you had the Danite.
See what I'm saying?
You had the Danite woman whose father was an Egyptian, and we slayed him. So
Not just the women, brother.
no, you're not paying. Listen. I'm saying the Danite woman. Are you familiar with that account? And her son,
I am.
whose father was an Egyptian, came out of Egypt with us. So is that your question?
You know what I'm saying?
'Cause I'm trying to. You're saying that there's always strangers amongst
There
Israel.
were strangers that
Right.
left with us, and they were required to keep the law as us.
Absolutely. If you're gonna be around, if somebody is a guest in your house, they gotta follow your rules.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying to you then is, if there's strangers that were allowed to be in our assembly then, why aren't strangers allowed to be in our assembly now?
Because they have turned, because they'll turn away our
From serving the Most High.
exactly, and that's what you read in the book of Judges 3. What happened? That's why the Lord said when you go into the Canaanites' land, we weren't supposed to make covenants with them. We were supposed to destroy them. Any idol they had, destroy it. We weren't supposed to take nothing of theirs because they was in the idolism. You know what I'm saying? So that land had to be purified.
Yeah.
And when you read Leviticus 18:1 on down, it's talking about the practices of ancient Egypt and how they was going off, and we're not supposed to follow them.
There were strangers that left with us that kept the commandments, though, that kept our practices, that kept and also
We don't deny that. In the book of Esther, it said that the fear of the Jews came upon the people when they became Jews. That doesn't mean they changed their bloodline. It means they followed
No,
all.
I'm not saying they changed
Our
the
customs.
Well, I'm
No,
just answering your
you
question.
can't-
Because just
can't
because
change
somebody,
the bloodline.
Yeah.
all right, well, just because, all right, so Edomite cannot eat pork. That's one of our laws, right? That don't make him an Israelite. I'm just really trying to get to the core of your question. Are you saying that strangers are not allowed to keep our laws? Or are you saying that that's contradictory? I'm just trying to really understand.
There's no right. I have no opinion. I just read the scriptures as is. I don't
Is
have
it,
to
is
make
it,
my
is it
opinion
weird
at all.
to you that we can have a heathen subject under us and they can follow our way of living? Is that weird to you?
It clearly states, the scriptures clearly state that this applied, these laws in verse 26 applies to not just Israel, but apply to the strangers that are living with
What's
Israel.
wrong with that?
What is wrong with
No,
that?
there's nothing wrong. So what I'm saying to you is that who are these individuals? Maybe you
Oh,
don't know.
It could have been anyone. Like
It
I
could
just
have been
brought out.
Moabites, Ammonites,
They're
Edomites.
all around
It
the
doesn't
same,
matter.
they all around the area.
Canaanites.
Surrounded by
Hey,
them.
get Proverbs, excuse me, Psalm 78 and 55.
Yeah, where's that account where that Canaanite woman? What's that account when who she helped?
When Yahushua healed her daughter?
No,
I'll
not,
give you an example. In the book of Numbers, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 12, verse 1. So Moses marries a Cushite woman, right? And his sister Miriam becomes angry because of this fact.
Right.
So then the Lord punishes her severely with leprosy because of this fact,
Right.
right?
That's the numbers.
So, but this woman was a Cushite. She wasn't an Israelite.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, it's very obvious to me that there's always Cushites or Egyptians that's around us that's keeping the law.
Say again?
there's always Cushites.
There's
And
Cushites
Egyptians around us
and
keeping the law.
Egyptians that left Egypt with us that are keeping the law.
To this
Okay.
day, you mean?
No, I'm
I'm
saying
sure
during
to
that
this
time
day as
period.
well.
Yeah.
Right. Well, just
I'm
Yeah.
sure to this day as well. Absolutely.
because they got to. If you in a land that's not yours, and you living in that land, and the people that's in rulership have laws, you have to follow the laws.
Yeah.
That's just like this is not our land. Well, it was the Northern Kingdom's land, but the Edomites took it and they put their laws up, and we have to follow the laws of the
No, but
land.
that's not quite right because
Why
there's
is
a
it
lot
not?
of people not following laws here in
But-
Baltimore selling crack cocaine.
but you know
I mean,
what?
there's laws saying
But
no,
the-
there's
but
the majority of people are not selling crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
If I go down this way, I can buy crack in about 2 blocks.
That doesn't mean anything though. The population of Baltimore is over 600,000 people.
Yeah.
Most people are not selling crack.
I know
You know
what
what I'm
you're
saying?
saying about that, but
Yeah, I understand.
I'm
Yeah.
saying who's ruling on this land? We follow this white man's laws
Right.
because we're here. That's just like
It's
when
not a right
when
to-
them when we were in rulership and them heathens were, they heard the fear of, they feared the Lord when we came out of Egypt.
Here's
Think
another
about
question that no one can answer. Can
Well, did
a
we answer your
non-Is-
other question?
But no one's ever been able to answer it. Like
There's
who
no
are
answer.
they? No one's ever been able to answer this. So, and then my other question is, who are?
Well, hold on a second. It said stranger, right? So that means someone that's not a part of our nation.
Slacker.
That could have been anyone.
He
That's
read the
why I gave
definition.
you. That's why I gave the example of the Danite
I-
woman
Yeah, I got this.
whose
I
son
got
was an
some of these
Egyptian
books, so-
because of his father's lineage. You know what I mean? So that stranger could have been, that just is in general. You know what I mean? So you want to specifically know who that was.
I want to know. I have a feeling who it is, but again, it's a guess. I don't know.
Well, who do you
And I know
believe
that-
it to be?
I believe that there were Egyptians that left Egypt with the Israelites that were keeping the commandments. It's a fact. I mean, historically, that's a fact. So, but I don't. What I don't know is who are. I guess the better question I should say is, can
Even if there was, how many of them
the
came
Most
into the
High
land?
use a heathen that's
Oh.
not an Israelite
Yes.
In what way?
to do his will?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Nebuchadnezzar,
yes. Nebuchadnezzar.
all of them. you
Yeah.
know?
Hey, like right now.
Just
So
sword.
he
The
the
Rothschilds.
Hold on,
So
hold on,
he
because
the
right
king.
now, because right now, the Most High, yeah, the Heavenly
Sennacherib.
Father is using Esau right now to chastise us and punish us until, because we're in punishment right now. He's using us. He's his
The father of
whip-
spirits.
The witness spirit.
So the Most High can use a non-Israelite to work his righteousness. Then.
To work,
Yeah.
to work
Yes.
to his
I
outcome.
got you right here.
And
He's the
his wrath,
father of
too.
spirits.
Hey, somebody hold
What's the
Isaiah
Psalm?
10 and 5.
And by the way, a heathen, we're damn near their God, you know. So when they practice our customs, they're in tune. We're their God, just like the Most High is our God. We're their God. So it's part of our heritage.
It's like that's can I say this real quick? That's like somebody being in your house. They gotta follow your rules when they in your house. You feel me?
Absolutely.
They can't just come in your house
Can
and
I bring this out?
have their
Can I bring
own
this out?
rules and
Go ahead.
run all over your stuff. You feel me? You got rules in your house. You feel me?
All right, this Proverbs chapter 21. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So, whoever the king is, man's goings are of the Lord. So, no matter who the king is, he can still use the king to be
Do
at
his
peace
will.
with us or put us into deeper subjection to their wicked will.
You know, there's a
Let me
lot of
get
brothers
this.
that don't believe.
Hey, brother,
I've asked this question.
hold on, brother. Let me-
Listen, we're sure, I'm
Well,
sure.
no, I don't want to lose this point, brother, because
you-
this is what you had said
Just-
before. We're
just-
trying to do it in order.
Just remember, bro. Remember.
Ezekiel 30 and 24. And I will strengthen the hands of the Slagi. I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon and put my sword in his hand. But I will break Pharaoh's arms, and he shall groan before him with the groanings of a deadly wounded man. So we know that king of Babylon, the Lord said he did what? Put his sword in his hand. So the Lord can use anyone.
Nebuchadnezzar was his servant.
Yeah.
Literally, the Lord, the scriptures clearly state that. I've been reading that since I was a little boy.
But do you understand what we just read, though?
Absolutely.
As
I
far
understand.
as-
So what I'm saying to you, if Nebuchadnezzar was the Most High servant, Nebuchadnezzar had to have been keeping the law in
No.
some way with the Lord.
No.
So what? No.
No. Why? What would make you? Would that correlate? You think?
Because the Lord, I think the Lord.
'Cause
the Lord
Israel had-
uses whoever He wants to use.
Right.
That don't mean he's
Who's
gonna
keeping His
give the.
commandments?
That has nothing to do with the covenant, bro.
Can I
You feel
read
what I'm saying?
Proverbs 21 one more time? The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So regardless of who the king is, if he's an Israelite or not an Israelite, the Lord still is controlling what he does.
Of course, because all leadership is the Lord's will. I mean, anyone who's in leadership, actually, the Lord put him there.
Exactly.
So the
That's why
scripture
you
says
got
that-
the
say that
beast
too.
in Daniel. I mean, it breaks it. It explains all the
So-
different kingdoms that was ruling.
Even like during the time of Daniel, right? Wasn't we practicing our shit in slave in captivity?
Yes, we was.
Dang, it was. That's why he's got put in the den with the lions.
I actually do, because I don't want to forget this question too.
All right.
Why did God punish David for
Adultery.
for killing Uriah? He wasn't an Israelite, right? Uriah is in 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. If you go down that account, he killed Uriah and put him in the front lines. He took his wife, right?
Yeah, it was a grimy move.
It was a grimy move. Absolutely, it was a grimy move. But Uriah wasn't an Israelite.
But
Still
wasn't-
adultery.
But he was
though.
fighting for Israel.
But wasn't that like breaking the law? Because that was his wife, right?
Of course, he
Still
was.
And what he was doing, what he wanted. He wanted his wife, right?
Yeah.
So he sent him into a battle. He thought he was going to lose.
Right.
So he basically-
that was.
He
that was
I mean, he
basically-
committed adultery.
He basically,
He committed adultery.
he
It's still
basically-
wrong,
and
you
he
know, it's a
basically
heathen,
killed
for
him
real.
in unrighteousness.
Right.
Yeah, it's
But
still
Because it
Uriah
doesn't-
was a non-Israelite that was fighting for Israel.
Well, you don't have sex with another man's woman. It don't matter who he
adultery.
is.
So all throughout and if you go to different accounts, you study that, because I actually have in the last year or so. If you study this, especially around the Second Kings and Samuel's, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of non-Israelites that are fighting for Israel
Yeah.
the entire time.
Oh,
Yeah, but Solomon.
yeah.
Go ahead. Doc.
It's just the same thing like right now. If you look at the American Army, right?
Yeah.
Military, you see it's not everybody that's from America fighting. You got people that from like Trinidad, people from Jamaica,
Yeah.
Cuba, South America, Guatemala,
Haiti.
Haiti,
Yeah.
overseas, so-called Middle East, Africans. So it's the same concept. If you in power and you ruling and you in charge, and you're dictating, right?
This is even before though, because we're talking about right from the time of the Exodus till, and even before, and quite frankly,
After the Exodus,
prior to the Exodus and after, you have non-Israelites fighting the entire time for Israel.
So my question is, are you saying that, what's the significance with that? Are they going to be saved?
I
or what
love
is your-
studying it. That's all.
Okay,
It's-
cool.
I mean,
No,
it's-
Just a simple conversation about it.
I got you.
Conversation.
Can I say something too? Especially back then, it was war. You feel me?
Yeah.
So if you conquer the nation, they basically fight for you now. They basically come to you. You ever seen the movie Troy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, they took over armies and you fight for them now. You feel me? That's all I can think
I was
of.
gonna
And
say,
it's gonna be, and I believe in the time to come, there's gonna be non-Israelites that's gonna be sojourn with us. That's gonna be in righteousness. That's gonna be
Where?
doing the will of the Lord.
That's
Where?
And here, this time, in our time.
So my question is this:
Yeah,
are-
precept for that.
okay, wait. Who can receive salvation?
Oh,
According to
salvation,
the
Those
that's
that
Bible.
keep the
different.
commandments and have the testimony of Yeshua, the Christ.
Okay, can it be anyone?
Those that keep the commandments and have the testimony of the Messiah.
Okay, I see. Get John.
Uh, Can I ask him this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
Are they Israelites or are you talking about anybody?
Those that keep the commandments will be persecuted as well.
So these people Israelites?
there's
So
no
they?
nationality.
I believe that anyone that keeps the commandments.
give
will
up
be
your
Okay.
Oh, okay. I do. What
all
you
right,
said.
this is St. John chapter 4, verse 22.
Bring it out.
Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
So salvation is of the Jews. So not anyone that believes or
Yeah.
anyone that's following the Torah.
That's-
Who was he
you
talking
gotta
to there?
keep the law.
Yeah.
If
Well,
a person's
okay,
not
okay,
keeping the law,
okay,
they
all right.
can't be saved.
All right. So who was the law given
Including
to?
Israel.
Who was the law
Faith
given
without
to?
works is dead.
Huh? Because 2/3 of Israel will be destroyed again,
That's
according
right.
to the prophet Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8.
Right, but
So
but
you're
if
not keeping the
a,
commandments, you're lost.
I know, but if a heathen catches himself trying to follow our laws, it does in vain. It doesn't matter. All right, this is the book of Luke 24.
You gotta show me that in the scriptures, brother.
All right, this is the book of
That's
Luke
amazing.
24:21. But we trusted that I had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done. Yea, and certain women, so let me start at 19. Luke 24, get the precepts. Luke 24:19. And he said unto them, what things? And they said unto him concerning Jesus of Nazareth, I'll just read it verbatim, which was a prophet mighty indeed, and word before God and all the people, and how the chief priests and all rulers delivered him to be condemned to death and have crucified him. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. So he's only redeeming Israel. So we know that you were redeemed by what? The works of the law before the Messiah. Now we're redeemed by that faith in him. But he only died for his people. That's Matthew 1 and 21.
I agree with all that.
I got precept.
Okay.
I agree with all that.
This is St. John, chapter 11, verse 49.
Bring it up.
And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not.
Yep.
And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
Exactly.
So it's only for the Israelites
James 1.
The children of God
that are scattered abroad.
Yeah, the Israelites.
that was scattered.
Get James 1 and 1. This is Hebrews 10 and verse 16. This is the covenant that I'll make with them after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their hearts, and their minds I will write them, and their sins and iniquities I'll remember no more. Now where remission of these is, there is no more offering of sin. Having therefore brethren, now we already know the brethren is fellow Israelites, that's Romans 9, boldness to enter into the holiest by the blood of Yahushua, by a new and living way, which he hath consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say, his flesh. Right? So this once again is proven that these promises, these covenants, this mercy is only towards Israelites.
Do you believe that those that keep the commandments will be persecuted?
Yeah,
Do you believe regardless of Israel or not? Do you guys believe that?
I really don't think it matters, to be honest.
Do you think if a righteous person,
What makes
don't you
them?
believe they'll be persecuted?
What makes a man?
really-
First of all, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I want to say this. Yeah, I believe they will be persecuted because number one, everyone's going to catch judgment. He's going to meet his people first. So
It
the
begins with the
secondary,
church. Judgment begins in
house
the
of
church,
God.
which
the
is
house
us.
of the- right? Okay, but again, when you read about the covenant, it has nothing to do with the heathen. Just because he's practicing our laws has anything to do with.
No one can explain this question too. Revelation 5:9.
It's easy, bro.
Revelation 5:9.
Get
No one could
Revelation.
ever explain.
Well, who is everyone, brother? How many people have
Man,
you
I've
asked?
asked pastors, I've asked everybody. This people can, man, they be like, yo, where you get this stuff from?
Pastors
Because all I
don't-
do is read the Bible for fun.
Pastors don't know the truth, man.
Revelations 5 and 9 is simple, huh?
Yeah,
Exactly.
brother.
Go ahead, get it out.
Yeah,
Read it, and
Revelation
then
five.
get Revelation 7.
Because we
got the
just
Second
look.
Peter's.
We answered it
Second
for you
Peter's.
just before when we just read the scripture.
Let me see. Let me see.
Hey.
Let me hear it.
Hold up, but Fred, let me bring this precept out first before we bring Revelation 5 now. This is James. Hold up, I just lost it. Go ahead,
What's
Al.
that scripture? You cannot add or disannul.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if a Moabite wants to practice our laws, he can. I salute him for it, but he's a heathen. It don't matter, bro.
Still gonna be a
We
slave.
got the promise in the covenant. If
But
you
you gotta
can't.
show me that in the scriptures.
This is James 1 and 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So we know that through that scripture that Israel is where? Amongst where? Everyone, right?
Absolutely. I
Okay.
agree with that 1,000.
It's over 13.
Now this is what he was
Revelation
asking for.
5 and 9,
This is Revelation 5 and 9. Revelation chapter 5 and 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by the blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
Exactly.
Let's just say that.
Hold up,
Right,
but
well,
what
hold
did
on.
James 1 and 1 just say?
Hey, hold,
We
wait.
We about to break it down.
Hold on,
See
hold on,
what
go.
Come on, man.
Go ahead.
Hey,
Let him figure
Go
it
ahead,
out.
break it
check
down.
this out. Check this out. Out of every kindred, nation, and tongue.
And people. Wait.
Yeah,
Don't
and
get that
people.
Yes.
And people.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because what do we just read in James 1?
What we
Israel's
read
been
again?
scattered abroad.
Read it again.
I'm going to bring James 1 and 1.
Read the other one too.
James, a servant of God, and the Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach,
3.
to the 12 tribes, which is scattered abroad. Greetings.
Now do me a favor, read Revelation 5 and 9 again, and then
Okay.
we're gonna get into these other two.
Revelations chapter 5, verse 9.
Right up.
And they sung a new song,
Mm-hmm.
saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by the blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and
Now
nation.
get Revelation 7 and verse 3.
Oh,
Get to the point. Mhm.
This is Revelations 7 and 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of God
On their foreheads.
in their foreheads. It says, and I heard the number of them which were sealed. It says, and there were sealed 144,000 of the tribes of the children of Israel.
Now, because you're reading along with him, you already know it says out of the tribe of Judah, out of the tribe of, you already know that.
12,000.
So, verse 9,
There's something he's missing. Okay, go to 9.
Yeah, we
9.
about to read
Yeah,
that.
This is
About to
verse
go.
9.
Uh-huh.
It says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude,
Out
which
of
no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes
So
and
who
psalms
are
in their
those
hands.
nations?
they're a
See,
part
that-
of the elect that you read up.
Oh.
Out of the tribe of this,
and
out of the
those
tribe of that,
nations are
out of the
just
tribe of
us,
this.
brother.
so like-
What's up?
Those nations.
You
are-
got Israelites amongst all the nations. That's what you not know.
Acts
Hey,
2 and
like,
5.
Can I say
And
something?
Yeah, read
Acts
Acts
2 and
2
5.
Hold up, real quick. See what you got to understand.
It's all right.
Going into that, when he was reading, what was that? 7 and
7, 9, and 5.
hold up, before the 7 and 3. That was the what? The 144,000. That was the what? The
The
governing
elect.
body, the elect, the chosen
The
elect.
elect is the rulership, which
the
is
rulership,
us.
right?
But who's the
Hold
large
on, okay.
body of
That
people?
large body
1/3.
is referring to James 1 and 1. Israel scattered amongst nations. So let me go into it. If
1/3.
Israel, if you're Israelites, right, and we're scattered amongst other
We're the-
nations. Hold up.
we're the
okay.
rulership class.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you that point. Hopefully it'll help you out. So Israel is scattered amongst nations. Israel is in Rome. Israel is in Corinth.
I agree.
Israel, okay.
We're on the
Okay.
same page.
Hold on. 5, 6, 7 generations of you living there, you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Now, you married a so-called Moabite woman. Your children look like Moabites and the
Moabites.
Chinese. All right.
Understand.
So you have a Moabite wife, and then your children look like Moabite. 3 or 4 or 5 generations. Guess what your children's gonna look like?
Moabites, I'm sure.
Okay, so they will look like the other nations. But
that's
they
not
hold
what
up,
we're talking
hold up,
about.
yes it is.
It is,
They
but
will
that's
look
not
like
it.
the other nations. They would be speaking the tongues of the nations. They'll be carrying and doing the customs of other nations because they're in a Gentile state of mind.
Let me try to make it a little bit more
Revelation
easy.
14:6. Let me see.
Wait, hold up, we gotta deal with this first.
Hold on out.
It's the same thing.
Right.
We still. same
Wait,
stuff.
hey, hold on. Let me try to
Wait,
make
wait.
it. I will try to simplify it even further. Now let's go back to Revelation 5 and 9 and let's read verse 10. Okay? And then let's go to
Can we
Leviticus.
jump
Let's
to
go to
14:6?
Exodus.
One sometime.
We got you
Keep
after that.
in mind that one.
Got
Okay,
you.
we're gonna go to that, all right?
It's gonna be the finishing move on this
Yeah.
one.
Revelation 5 and 9.
5 and 9 and 10.
Go to 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Revelations 5 and 9 going down to 10. And they sung a new song,
Okay.
saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open up the seal thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by the blood of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Verse 10. And has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth.
This is Exodus 19 and 6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests
Yeah.
and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak to the children of Israel.
If you keep the commandments.
Brother, we ain't talking. Listen, brother, you're
Am
going
I-
into something
am-
different.
am
No,
I-
wait, brother, wait.
Am
The
I
whole
gonna be a
brother,
part
wait,
of the- okay, hold on.
brother, hold on one
Hold
second,
on.
brother.
If I practice bestiality, am I going to be a part of the nation?
That's not the
Kings and priests?
point. You're missing the point. The point is that this is for Israelites. Period. You have righteous Israelites. You have unrighteous Israelites.
Yeah.
But what you're trying to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, is anyone, don't matter what you are, as long as you're following the laws, you're good.
You said anyone.
That's what
I
you're
said,
saying.
those that keep the commandments
Right.
of God.
So can anyone
and
keep the
have
commandments of God?
testimony of Yeshua,
Can-
which means that
Can that
the
be
Spirit,
anyone?
the Holy Spirit is in you.
Can anyone
That's
keep
not
the
anyone.
can
You think
Hey,
you think
said
what you think TD Jakes is doing is gonna get you to the kingdom of God, or what Cleflo Dollar's doing?
We talking about you were talking about
Slaki, can I
That's
can
all
I
right.
can I say this one thing? The Bible does it not reference the seed of fathers?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Right.
Excuse me.
First-
Why is
first
that
chapter.
mentioned? Why is that mentioned for a reason then?
Why?
Why is that
It's for
mentioned?
the accounts. Like the Lord has each portion for each.
this is
tribe.
the book of
Right.
Amos
That's exactly why.
9.
In fact, anyone that does this census
10.
without the Lord's permission
Okay.
is an automatic sin.
bring it
In
up.
fact, it
This is the book
automatically
of
leads to
Amos
plagues.
9 verse 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So you damn right, Israel that's not in order, they're gonna get put to death. But this grace and mercy is only towards the saints. Get that in Wisdom of Solomon 4:15.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 15.
Bring it out.
This the people saw. I'm gonna start at 13. He being made perfect in a short time fulfilled a long time, for it so pleased the Lord. Therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked.
Keep going.
This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up in their minds that his grace and mercy is with his saints, and that he hath respect unto his chosen.
Now, who are the saints? Because only the grace and the mercy is for the saints. Are you familiar with who the saints are, brother?
The saints are first us, and those that keep His commandments.
No.
Get that in Psalms, please.
Psalms
Add, bro,
148
add.
and 14.
Get that.
Psalms 55.
That's incorrect,
The
brother.
reason why they mention the seed of fathers is because it's a bloodline thing. You can't add nothing. You can't add in a Moabite that's gonna take in the inheritance of an Israelite. That's never gonna happen.
This is let me bring this out. This is Psalms 147, verse 19.
Bring it out.
He showed his word unto Jacob,
Abraham,
his statutes and judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So the law, statutes, and commandments was only given to Israel. The
Of
Lord,
course.
the Lord is only dealing with Israel.
Of course.
Only the Israelites. So only Israel could get it or know what it's about.
Yeah.
Receive
Now let's go to
salvation.
see who
We're
the
on the
saints
same
are.
page on that, brother.
These, huh?
We're on the same page.
Let me
So
get
these-
I
this.
don't want us to get.
The saints.
I don't
So-
want us to get too far from.
Oh,
our
okay. We still
original
staying on the point, but we
piece.
got.
This
we
is
gotta know-
Ephesians 2 verse 8. For by grace ye are saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is a gift of the Most High, not of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Yahushua unto good deeds. It's not good, which the Most High have before ordained that we should walk in them. Right? And it says, wherefore remember that ye in time past being Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision. So you better believe, back in those times, you had Israelites that were following the laws, because everything's about the law, the law, the law. And even though you were a bloodline descendant, if you were not following those laws, you were a heathen to me.
That's what
He was
Ephraim
uncircumcised.
I
Right.
agree with everything you just read. I agree with 100%.
Then I don't understand.
I want to go back to Revelation 14:6.
Oh, we didn't even
No,
get
we
up
ain't
to
get
that
there
yet.
yet.
We
Yeah,
were
we
still
still at 5 and
we
9.
were still
He
solidifying
trying to slide.
Revelations 5:9 and 10.
It's all right, brother.
Try to slide over
this,
this.
this is good dialogue, you know.
God,
Yeah,
yeah.
love it.
God. Can I get this real quick?
Yep.
Oh,
This Psalms 50 and 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So the saints are the Israelites.
Of course. I believe that. But I also believe that those that keep His commandments
Or who?
are who?
Or who?
There's gonna be Gentiles that are keeping the commandments, and that will
That are
be saved.
Israelite descendants.
The Lord will have mercy on who he will have mercy on.
Exactly.
But the covenant and the promise was issued out to a certain family
Of course.
with a bloodline.
so
So then people
It's
outside of that
a nation of
bloodline,
kings and priests. You just read it.
the people outside of that bloodline, they can go ahead and follow the
You're
commandments.
tricking yourself.
The
There's
Lord-
literally one bloodline. It all came through Noah.
Oh, I got you right here. Hold up.
We got
I see
Yeah.
this one now.
Okay, that's
Second
okay.
Ezra 6 and
I-
54.
I see what the problems.
I
You
got
need
you.
clarification on
Second
that.
Ezra 6 and
Go
54.
ahead, let's come on.
Oh,
We're gonna
snap.
clarify that.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 54.
Bring it out.
Bring it out. Bring
And
it out.
after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
Yep.
But the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but like unto spittle,
They were eliminated.
and hast likened the abundance of them to a drop that falleth in a vessel.
Right now, can I say this again, brother? That's why I asked you that question. Why does it matter that seeds of fathers are in this book? That's why. Because the Lord, like you said, Noah, he's chosen, right? But which one got chosen? Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Which one got chosen? Shem, the
Shem,
God
yeah.
of Shem.
Yeah, thank
There's
you.
an order to this thing, bro. You gotta, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Genesis 9,
That's
26.
Why, that's why, again, if a Hamite wants to follow my ways, he can fucking do that. I own him.
He better do that.
He better do that.
And in the
I'm
kingdom,
not gonna let
Do
him
we
do.
own them or the Lord own them?
Huh?
Do we own them or the Most High?
The
Well, let's
Most
find
High
out.
owns
Leviticus
us,
25
we
and
own them.
44.
Keep reading. Well, yeah, I think keep reading on that.
Read that, and I'll bring that out.
It's made for our sakes. The whole earth.
Yeah,
was.
come on,
Of
All right,
course.
continuing
Oh,
on, verse
absolutely.
57.
Yep.
And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
Yep.
But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now may be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
Right.
The world was
And
made
that's
for
what we're
our
asking.
sake.
This place is about to go down, by the
All
way.
the place is ready down.
Thank you.
It's ready.
And we agree to that.
Circling the drain.
This is an illusion. It's done. It's
You
ready
can,
down.
hey, you hit it. Hey, you hit it right over there. That's what it is.
But yeah, we do own them. They are property.
Oh,
The
can I
minute
read
they
this?
signed in,
Uh-huh.
the minute they signed in them laws to let dogs and dogs get married, it was over.
Yeah.
The
Almost
homosexuality.
forgot for a second.
I got Leviticus on, bro.
Let me bring this out. This is Psalms 2,
Oh, yeah.
and let me see. Let's start at 8. It says, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, in the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession."
Can anybody get the heathens or just the righteous? See what I'm saying? So you
Well,
gotta
that's
be
a
careful
good.
with
That's
that, man.
well. Listen, brother. No. First of all, none of us has claimed to be so holier than thou. All we're saying is that, of course, listen, brothers. The elect.
The
Listen,
unrighteous will never get the heathens that he's referring. That's in the scriptures that he's talking about. that he's
brother.
reading from.
Listen, we know that. First of all, only a remnant of Israel is going to be making it.
Yeah.
To begin with,
Yeah.
that remnant is going to be getting slaves. Period.
Good.
Of other nations, no other nation is making it. Period. I don't care what they believe. I don't care what they call on. That's not biblical.
That's the Lord the judge. I don't know.
Well, no, we've been showing you this whole
Judgments are
time.
written, bro. The judgments are written. If you got friends that are heathens, bro, prepare to say
I
goodbye
don't
to
have
them.
any friends in the heathen.
But
I
I'm
don't-
just
I only
saying,
hang out
I'm
with
just
people
saying
who
this
keep
in,
the law.
in this whole spectrum, bro. I'm
Alright.
saying like, when you look at the covenant the Lord made with us as a
Right.
nation, so all the 2/3 they're gonna get destroyed, but they're gonna come back through the loins of the elect, the governing body, right? The whole nation is gonna be brought back, and we're gonna own all the most parts of the earth and the people.
That's why Isaiah 60 said, "The little one shall become 1,000." So that's great that you want to you want to have a difference between the righteous and the unrighteous. We totally agree. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that it's amongst Israel. Yahushua, when he was, and you know Yahushua, right? All right. When he was rebuking people, he was rebuking wicked Israelites. Revelation 2 and 9 is about wicked Israelites. They don't have nothing to do with Esau
The Pharisees and scribes.
at all.
They was-
So you always had Israel.
Don't go away from 14:6.
We're not. We always had Israel that wanted to do right and wrong. That's why Moses said, "Who's on the Lord's side?" in Exodus. So it was always that way.
I'll bring this up.
Yeah.
This is 2 Peter 3.
And they get to Revelation 14:6.
2 Peter 3. I'm gonna start at 3, and I'm gonna read all the way to 9. All right, this is 2 Peter 3:9. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts, and saying, wherein is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store